Hi folks, welcome, thank you for coming, for joining me. All you really will need for today's practice is a blanket or a towel. So I'm gonna fold it so that it creates a strip of padding for my knees so that if I'm in a down dog, they're not in the way, but if I tap my knees down, it comes right in underneath the knees to pad. You don't have to use it for that, but there will be a couple things where we'll use it otherwise, so you will want one, something close by. And when you're ready, you'll start lying down on your belly. So you'll come forward and just set your arms in a cactus position and rest your forehead if possible. Really wide. I want you to look at your elbows and make sure that they are directly beside your shoulders or slightly forward of that, but not further back. If you didn't mute your thing, please mute your thing. And then you're gonna take your forehead to the floor and have a few breaths, just breathing steadily there. I don't know why it won't unmute them, but... So stay on your belly. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to figure out the sound. Your arms are in cactus. Feel your belly swell completely. And then take yourself to empty as much as you can. And let your body rest heavily. And then you're gonna slide your right knee out to the right in a half a frog leg. So your inner knee is on the floor. Your inner ankle is just south of your inner knee. And then if you looked at the camera, put your head back down if you can, and turn your tailbone up so that your low back arches. And then you'll turn your tailbone down so that your lower back rounds and the front of your pelvis pushes heavy. Do this back and forth. Inhale, tailbone up, arch the back. And then exhale, tailbone down, and try to round the back. Again. Now this time, as your tailbone turns down, so it's long toward your left heel, you're gonna pause there. Press the front of your right hip more gently into the floor. Widen your inner right knee to the right, and feel the flesh of your buttocks is pulling back towards your left heel. And then you're gonna bring your right fingertips in line with your shoulder, a little closer to you. You're gonna crawl your left hand to the left a little and keep crawling it left as you roll onto your left side body. You're gonna put your right foot in a tree pose, if possible, against your inner left leg. And you're gonna take a couple breaths here. You should feel the left pectoral quite a lot. And you shouldn't have the front of your left arm bone touching the floor. It should be very clearly lifted, more like cobra. And then let your top thigh widen toward the ceiling. And see if you could send your right leg straight up. Point and flex your foot a couple of times. And then from here, you're gonna lower the right leg down and step your left foot to the right edge of your mat. So your left foot will now be in view if you look down. Right leg is stretching way back behind you. So your legs are in kind of like a scissor split, kind of like a pyramid pose. And then see if you can keep your top hip forward, but turn the knee and toes up toward the ceiling. So you've rotated your thigh, but you didn't collapse your pelvis too far back. Now see if you can take your right arm up. Broad left chest. And then see if you can reach your right arm overhead and have the palm facing the ground. So your right leg is stretched long behind you. Your right arm is reaching overhead. Blade edge of the left foot is pushing down. Take another breath. And then slowly, gently as possible, put your fingers down, roll back onto your front. I would take the arms back by the hips And then just wiggle a little bit. And let your shoulders soften toward the front of your body. Your left shoulder should have felt some interesting stuff there. And then you'll slide your arms forward into that same cactus situation. Your left knee goes left, frog leg. And then turn your tailbone up. And then turn your tailbone down. So you're just tilting your pelvis. Arch a little bit. And then round a little bit. Again. As the tail turns down this time, hold. Front of the pelvis pushing into the floor. Inner left knee wider to the left. You're going to bring your left fingers in by your left ribs. Crawl the right hand a little to the right and keep crawling it as you open your left leg and step it into tree. So right shoulder head up away from the floor. Right elbow should be forward, if not like way forward, but like at least a little forward of your shoulder socket. And then let your left knee widen to the ceiling. See if you can straighten your left leg. Lift it up. Point flex the foot. And then bring it more down in line with your other. Step your right foot forward so it's in your vision if you look down. And then send your left leg straight back. Turn the knee and toes a little up. But press the left buttocks forward. Now take your left arm up. Keep the right shoulder pulling up away from the floor. Stretch your left arm over top of your ear if you can. And stretch the fingers really, really long above you. Turn the pinky more down. The thumb more up. Take one more breath like this. You're going to bring your left hand down. You're going to roll onto your belly. You're going to take your hands back by your hips. And just wiggle for a second in seated. And then slide your hands in by the sides of your ribs. And gently push yourself up toward a hands and knees position. And then you'll move into a comfortable seat. So I'll put a block between my ankles because I've got one close by. You can take or leave the block, but find a comfortable place to sit. Cross legs if you like. Shins under thighs, Virasana if that feels good. And then take your hands and hold to the base of your ribs. So you've got your fingers on the front and your thumbs on the back. And then if it's okay, close your eyes and start to direct your breath really particularly. You'll exhale as empty as you can manage. And with your breath in, expand your rib basket completely. Take your whole breath in. And then narrow with the exhalation. And feel this slower pulse you create with steady breath work. Now from here, you'll take your arms forward and up overhead. Palms face each other, shoulders are really, really lifted. Just stretch your fingers higher and make your side body really long. That steadier breath pace should follow through the whole practice. Know that it'll be challenging to do that, but see what you can do. And then take your arms to cactus from here. Tip the elbows a little bit forward and the wrists a little bit back. So this becomes your cow pose for today. Your elbows forward, your wrists back, your chest very, very open. Take another breath in like this. And then a bit funny today, bind your hands into fists. You're gonna send your fists forward and internally rotate your shoulders. So your fists go down, your shoulders round forward, your head's gonna drop, your tailbone is literally tucked slightly, and your whole upper back is very, very, very round. So you're in an upside down cactus. Take another breath like this. And then you're gonna flip your arms back through cactus, reach straight up overhead, big breath in. Cactus as you exhale. Stay and breathe in. Elbows forward, wrists back, more back bend. And then make fists, and as you exhale, turn them upside down, round the shoulders, round the whole spine. Breathing in, arms straight up overhead. Cactus, exhale. Stay and breathe in, fill your lungs. Fists upside down, cactus, round your shoulders. Again, breathe in, take your arms up. Cactus, exhale. Stay in back bend, breathing in. Turn the fists upside down, round the shoulders. Take your whole breath out here. Last time like this, reach way up, one breath. Cactus, arms, exhale. Tilt the elbows forward, the wrists back, stay here, breathe in. And then fists upside down, a little different this time. You're gonna connect your fists now behind your back. They could go behind your ribs or behind your lumbar. This is what's happening behind me if you don't know where I'm going here. So fists are connected behind the back, lumbar spine or rib cage, but press your knuckles strongly against one another. Pull your shoulder blades a little back and slide your elbow tips a little bit forward. Your elbows want to go back right now, but try not to let them. Pull the front of your ribs in. You might feel the back ribs widen against your hands. Take another breath like this. And then keeping the hands behind you, turn the knuckles toward the floor, palms together. You're gonna interlace your fingers tightly, more familiar for sure. Knuckles down toward the floor behind you, lift your heart up. Pull your chest forward and take another breath like this. And then you're gonna take this single fist you've created and pull it around your left outer pelvis. So that you have a single fist of both hands. Fist is anywhere near your left outer hip. Now pull your elbows narrower, pull your shoulders more back, lift your spine a little bit taller, and then you're gonna nod left ear to left shoulder. Narrow the elbows more, keep the head nodded to the side, and then lift the chin a little, and then drop the chin a little. Lift the chin a little, and drop the chin a little. One more time. Now release the arms, tip them to the lap for a second. Broaden your chest, take a steady breath like this. You might feel a little tingly around your shoulders. Steady your exhalation, approaching empty. Take another breath here. One inhale, arms reach up. Cactus as you exhale. Elbows forward, wrists back, back bend, breathing in. Fists turn upside down as you exhale. Connect the fists behind the back. Inhale to sit tall. Shoulders back, ribs in as you exhale. Now put the palms together, interlace the other way. Send your knuckles down, lift your chest. And then take the single fist, hopefully with the other pinky on top, around your right pelvis. Hug your elbows in narrower. Pull your shoulders more back. And then you'll nod your right ear to your right shoulder. Narrower elbows, narrower shoulder blades. Now lift your chin a little. Don't go too fast here. This is pretty intense really for your neck. I almost feel this right up into the jaw. Now come to what you believe to be center. Release your arms, sit them to your lap. Take a deep breath. A couple of steady paced breaths. Notice what you feel in your shoulders, notice what you feel around your neck spine, maybe your hands slightly tingly from that interlaced finger business. Sit tall. And get more contented with such a simple thing as deeper breath. Consider that in practice, really what we're doing is spending time accessing presence, right? Sounds simple. 10 years ago, Scotty, I wouldn't have even computed that sentence. But you're like logging time in the present and keeping yourself more anchored than maybe you sometimes are. Blink your eyes open, and you'll shift out of your seat. So you can put blocks, if you have them, toward the front of your mat on either side. And then again, I have this blanket here to pad the knees. You might not need it, but it might be a nice option. And then come toward a down dog. You can pedal your feet, you can nod your head, you could keep your knees down if you want and just stretch one leg back at a time. And have a couple really steady breaths here. And if you are pedaling, start to come back to a more neutral position, find stillness. And then check something for me, come forward to plank. And if your shoulders go way past your wrists, like I would say mine was a little bit short, you're gonna walk your big toes back a little so that your shoulders are right over your wrists in a proper plank. You would have to come to your tiptoes in order for your shoulders to go out past them. Now go back to down dog. Take a deep breath. Sigh or something. Tuck your chin. You're gonna round to plank. Take a slow inhale breath. Knees, if you want them, lower yourself to the ground. Come all the way down, slow motion. Set your fingertips wide on the wood. Wave in cobra. Take an inhale. Fingers stand. Lift your head last. And then your exhale pull you down. And just go a little slower than you need to. Do it twice more. Inhale to wave up. And exhale to wave down. Once more like this. Exhale, wave down. Narrow your palms under your elbows. Do the other cobra. Lift your chest. And then through your knees, go to child's pose, hips towards your heels. You're gonna come to tented fingers, roll right up to sit. Fingertips slide behind you, push them down back there, and lift your chest. Take a deep breath in. This is reverse cow. And then catch your knees and round your spine and breathe out. You're gonna slide your hands forward, right to plank pose. Listen, bring your right knee directly between your thumbs. Point the toes at a sharp diagonal to the left. So this is not pigeon, but it's the front leg of Gomukhasana. So the knee is in center between the wrists, toes are angled back and left. Tap your back knee down and come to fingers or find blocks, but lift into a back bend. Pull your right hip back and in. Square your left hip a little more toward the front of the mat. And then from here, you're gonna bend your elbows and round forward like a cat spine, kind of like a sleeping pigeon pose if the leg was that. And then straighten your elbows and lift yourself back up. Keep your back toes tucked, lift your back knee and round your spine. Think of your right knee pulling backward and your left toes dragging forward. Take another breath. And you'll do this on the breath a couple times. Tap the back knee, lift the chest. Square the hip more. Exhale to bend the elbows. Try to breathe into straight arms. And then breathe out to round the spine. Lift just the back knee. Once more, knee down, lift your chest. Exhale, bend your elbows and wave the spine forward. Straighten the elbows, last time. Now ground your palms this time. Lift your back knee, round, and then pull your right knee up to your belly. You're gonna take three-legged dog. Right leg goes way up. And then bring the knee toward your chest. Step to your right thumb tip. Your back knee down, and lift your arms up overhead for low lunge. You're gonna hook your thumbs up here. Pulling on your hooked thumbs should help you to straighten your elbows. Really lift your side body up. Take another breath. You're gonna side bend to the right from here. As you do, continue pulling strongly with your thumbs on each other. Try to straighten your elbows completely. And then with your breath in, come back up. If your back toes aren't tucked, tuck them. Take cactus arms, make fists, and hover your back knee. Just a little bit. If it's too much, keep your back knee down. Take a deep breath. Now, like you did see, to turn the fist upside down. Turn the knuckles to the floor, elbows, shoulders rounding forward. Take another breath like this. Pull your back foot towards your front foot. And then you're gonna put all your fingers around your front foot, straighten both legs to pyramid. Your back knee could be down to modify this. You could have blocks under your hands if you need. Flex your right foot if it's possible. And then put a bend in your back knee. We'll call this runner's stretch. Back knee is bendy, you're a little springy, you can wiggle your hips side to side a little bit, feel it out. But try to really flex your right foot. Now, keep springy, and you're gonna step to the front of the mat, halfway lift, long spine, big breath in. Empty through the mouth if you can. Empty completely. On empty, you're gonna roll up slowly. So no breath, you're rolling up your spine. If this is new for you, you don't have to. When your arms go up, breathe in. And then take cactus arms as you exhale. Bend your knees deeply, make fists as you breathe in, more back bend. And then exhale, turn the fists upside down, round the spine, turn the tailbone under. Inhale, chair proper, reach your arms forward and up. And then fold, put your fingers around your feet. You're gonna step your left foot back. And you're gonna straighten both legs to pyramid pose. Now you're gonna have to listen. Keep your legs straight, turn all your toes left, come to a parallel feet position, straddle legs. Have your hands right under your shoulders, take a deep breath in. Now try to get empty, as empty as you can, rounding the spine all the way to empty. Close your airway, and then crawl your fingers out in front of you onto the wood floor, staying empty if you can. When you need to breathe, resume. This is down dog straddle. Your untented fingers if possible. Your legs, it may be straight, maybe not, but grip your feet and really make your legs powerful. Take another breath like this. Now bring your hands back in under your shoulders. Lift your spine up to flat back. Inhale. You're gonna bend left knee and reach left arm left. Stay for a moment. Grip your right foot strong. Press your inner right thigh down. You're gonna straighten both legs, replace the fingers, bend the right knee, take the right arm to the right. Now keep this happening with the right side body. Turn all your toes to the front of the room. You're coming to twisted lunge. You're gonna send your right arm straight to the ceiling, hug your right hip in, and make your back leg straighter. Now send your right arm straight backward, just for another breath. Back leg lifting toward right fingers. You're gonna circle the arm overhead. Your hand down, step to down dog, simple as possible. Take a deep breath from down dog. Sigh or whatever. Tuck your chin, round plank pose, inhale. Lower to the ground, use your knees if you want them. You're back at the beginning, fingertips wide, waving cobra. Crown lifts last. Lower and narrow your palms, do the other cobra, lift your heart. Through your knees, child's pose, but you're gonna keep moving. Roll right up to sit, slide all your fingertips behind you, lift your chest. And then catch your knees and round. Hollow. Hands forward, right to plank pose, inhale. Pull your left knee directly between your thumbs. Toes a sharp diagonal, back knee comes down, come to tented fingers and lift your chest. If you don't work on your fingers very often, use your palms or use blocks or something else under your hands, but lift your chest. Square your right hip a little forward and feel your left shin almost tugging backward. Now bend your elbows. Round over the front thigh. You're gonna straighten your elbows. You're gonna lift your back knee and round. Stay here for a moment. So the first shape is about the outer front hip. This is about the front of the back leg hip. Round as much as you can. Now tap your back knee, inhale, wave your spine up. Exhale, you're gonna bend your elbows. Straighten the elbows, breathe in. Lift the back knee, round the spine, exhale. Once more, knee down, lift your chest. Lower down and flatten the palms this time. So you're gonna push up, breathing in. Same thing, round, pull the left knee to the belly. And you'll take your leg up, three-legged dog. Bring your knee towards your chest, step quietly forward with your left foot. Your arms will go up, low lunge. Back knee to the towel if helpful. Pull on your thumbs, really lift your shoulders, and then side bend to the left. Pull strongly, make your arms straighter. Even your back knee is pulling forward still, like in that kind of strange Gomukhasana pigeon thing. And then as you breathe in, come back up, tuck your back toes. You're gonna make cactus arms with fists. You're gonna hover your back knee. Take a deep breath. And then turn your knuckles upside down, round the shoulder. Stay here, pull your feet toward each other. Exhale deeply. Your hands are gonna come down, breathing in. And straighten both legs. Modified pyramid. Back heel is lifted if it's possible. Flex the front foot if it's comfortable. Again, back knee could be down. Hands can be on blocks. Now bend your back knee. Back knee. So this is kind of an unorthodox shape. You might not, I don't teach this that often. But hug your left hip in. Keep your back knee kind of springy. And you can wiggle, you can wave your foot side to side or whatever feels good. Now spring to step forward, halfway lift. Empty if you can. Empty completely. On empty, you're gonna roll up to stand. When your arms go, breathe in. Cactus the arms as you exhale. Bend the knees. Take an inhale, more back bend. Exhale, fists, turn them upside down, round your spine. Proper chair pose, arms up, hips back. Fold as you exhale, straighter legs-ish. Step your right foot back. Exhale, straighten both legs. Now pivot, all toes to the right. Hands under shoulders, take an inhale. As empty as you can. Can you shut the camera? Stay empty and crawl your hands forward. On empty, maybe for a moment. Breathe in when you need to. Take steady breaths. Head drops if possible. Feet are gripping strongly. Then bring your hands back in under your shoulders. Take an inhale, lengthen. Bend right knee, take right arm to the right. Come to center, breathe in. Left knee bends, left arm to the left. Keep all that happening. Turn everything to the front of your mat. And then left arm will reach straight up. Left hip hugs in, back leg straight. If possible, left arm goes straight back. Down toward the thigh, lifting thigh toward the fingers. Now circle overhead. Hand down, step to down dog, simple as possible. Take a deep breath. Sigh or whatever. Tuck the chin, round forward, big inhalation. You're gonna exhale, lower to the ground. Your hands narrow this time, cobra proper, take an inhale. Through the knees, child's pose, hips to your heels, keep moving. Roll right up to sit, fingertips behind you, take an inhale. Catch your knees. Round spine, exhale. Plank pose, hands forward, tuck the toes, charge the legs. Pull the right knee right in between the hands. Set up top leg of Gomukhasana. Take an inhale, back knee down. Exhale, bend at your elbows. Straighten your arms, breathe in. Lift your back knee, round spine, breathe out. Again, knee down, lift your heart. Exhale, bend your elbows. Inhale, straighten them. Round the palms, right knee to the chest, round your spine. Three-legged dog, go way up. Step to your right thumb. Back knee down, the arms rise. Hook the thumb, side bend to the right, just the exhale. Come back up. Cactus, fist, hover your back knee. Stay here and breathe in. Round as you breathe out. Fingers down, inhale. Straighten both legs, exhale. Flex your foot if you can, breathe in. Bend your back knee as you exhale. Now spring forward, halfway lift. Empty if possible. Stay empty if possible, roll up. When your arms go, you breathe in. Cactus arms, exhale, bend your knees. Stay and breathe in, more back bend. Fists turn upside down as you breathe out. Chair pose proper, inhale. Fold, hands down, exhale. Left foot back, breathe in. Straighten both legs as you exhale. Toes to the left, breathing in, straddle. Empty if possible. Shh. on empty. Crawl your hands out in front of you. Stay empty for a moment if you can. Breathe when you need to. Steady breath out. Bring your hands back in under your shoulders. Take an inhale to lift. Bend left knee, reach left arm to the left. Center. Right knee bends, right arm to the right. Turn to the front of the mat, left hand grounds. Take your right arm up to twist. Exhale, reach it back. Circle overhead. Down dog. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. Tuck the chin, round plank pose. Exhale to the ground. Hands stay where they are, cobra, take your inhale. Child's pose, exhale. Fingertips, roll right up to sit. Fingers behind you, take an inhale breath. Hollow, exhale. Hands forward, right to plank pose. Left knee between the wrists, front leg Gomukhasana, back knee down, lift to your fingers. Exhale, bend at your elbows. Straighten the arms, breathe in. Lift the back knee and round. Inhale, one more time. Lower. Come up, breathe in. Ground the palms, left knee to the chest. Exhale deeply. Inhale, three-legged dog. Step to the left thumb. Back knee down, arms rise. Hooked thumb, side bend left, just the exhale. Back to vertical. Cactus, fists, hover your back knee. Stay here, breathing in. Turn it upside down, round your spine, exhale. Fingers down, inhale. Straighten both legs, breathe out. Flex your front foot. Bend your back knee, exhale. Step forward, halfway lift, front of the mat. Empty. Empty to roll up. When your arms go, you breathe in. Cactus arms, chair pose. Stay in back bend, breathe in. Fists upside down, breathe out. Chair proper, inhale. Fold, fingers down. Right foot steps, breathing in. Two straight legs, breathe out. Toes turn to the right, straddle, inhale. Empty round. If possible, you'll stay empty. Crawl your fingers out in front of you on empty. When you need to breathe, resume. Exhale, hands come back under the shoulders. Lift your spine as you breathe in. Bend right knee, take right arm to the right. Center. Bend left knee, left arm to the left. Keep all that. Turn your toes to the front, right hand grounds, left arm straight up. Exhale, reach it back. Circle forward. Plant the palm, down dog. Take a deep breath. Sound. Slowly inhale, plank pose, round forward. Exhale all the way. Fingertips wide, waving cobra, one time. As you lower, narrow your palms. Do the other cobra, take your inhale. Through your knees, child's pose, exhale, keep moving, roll right to sit. Fingers behind you, take an inhale here. Catch your knees. Plank. Right knee to the middle. Back knee down. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, wave your spine down. Come back up. Ground the palms. Right knee to the chest. Three-legged dog. Go way up. Step forward. Exhale. Back knee down. Lift the arms overhead. Hooked thumbs go to the right. To center. Cactus, fist, hover, back knee, take an inhale. This is different. Turn the fists upside down, press them behind the back of the ribs. If you can, straighten your back leg. You can stay here in runner's lunge, or float your back leg to warrior three. Press your fists strongly against one another. Pull your right hip socket back more, and make your lifted leg a little sharper. Shoulder blades on the back, press the fists together, take another breath like this. Now slowly lead with your chest. You're gonna hinge upright, put your feet together, lower your arms down, Tadasana. Take an exhalation. Now breathe in, arms up. Just fold, skip the rest of it. Left foot steps. Exhale, right leg straight. Toes left, parallel feet, breathe in. Empty if you can. On empty, crawl the fingers forward. Stay empty longer if you can this time. When you need to breathe, breathe in. As you breathe out, bring your hands closer. Take your inhale, lift your heart up. Then left knee, left arm to the left. Come to center. Right knee bends, right arm to the right. Now turn everything to the front of the mat. This time, turn all your toes to the side. So you're gonna reach your right arm up. You're on the outer blades of your feet. Your right arm's gonna go overhead if it's possible. Take a deep breath here. And then you'll lower your left hip and reach your right arm straight back. Do this twice more. Inhale, go up. Exhale, lower slowly. Last time. Now lift, turn, ground the palms, step to down dog. Take a deep breath in, sigh or whatever. Slowly round plank pose. To the ground. Fingers wide, wave cobra. As you lower, narrow your palms. Do the other cobra, inhale. Through your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Sigh, empty. On empty, put your knees down. Take your inhale when you get to cow. Child, now like before, roll up to sit, fingers behind you. Take your inhale here. Catch your knees. Round your spine. Hands forward, right to plank pose. Left knee to the center, top leg Gomukhasana. Take an inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, bend your elbows. Straighten your arms, inhale. Lift, round, left knee to the belly. Three-legged dog, go way up. Step forward. Back knee, take your arms up. Hooked thumbs, go left. Go center. Cactus arms, fists, hover back knee. Take an inhale. And then turn the fists upside down. Connect them behind your ribs or lumbar. Straighten the back leg. You might slide the back leg forward and hover it. Warrior 3. Shoulders up on the back. Fists pressing strongly together. You could even have your right toes down as a little bit of a kickstand. And it'll still be quite challenging actually. Crown of your head straight forward. Right foot reaching back. Good. Take one more breath. You'll lead with your chest. Just stand. Tadasana. Arms down. Take a deep breath here. As you inhale, arms rise. Fold, exhale. Right foot steps. Front leg straight. Toes to the right, parallel. Inhale. Empty. On empty, fingers forward. Stay empty for a moment if you can. Breathe when you need to. Hands come back in as you exhale. Lift your chest, breathe in. Right knee bends, right arm to the right. Center. Left knee bends, left arm to the left. Now turn everything to the front of the mat. All toes then turn left. Left arm goes up. Take a deep breath in. And then lower. Inhale, go up. Exhale. Once more. Now lift, turn, ground the palm, step to down dog. Take a deep breath in. Sigh or something. Now walk your hands a little closer to your blanket. And then tap your knees just behind the blanket or the towel, and then take a seat for just a second. You're gonna roll up the towel or blanket, and if you didn't grab one, if you came in later, this is suggested strongly. It's just an interesting variation. You're gonna stand and put the blanket at the front of your pelvis, And then you're gonna fold so that the blanket is pushing against your belly. You can have your hands down. You can hold opposite elbows. If you can, let your head drop. And even though the blanket is very much in your way, can you breathe around it? Good. So with the belly compressed, the breath should move more around your kidneys. So try to send the breath into the back of the body. Now switch the cross of your elbows if that's where you were. Sway or stay still. Now bend your knees, you're gonna go to a chair pose, hold either side of the blanket and just stand. You can leave it rolled and you'll just put it to the side. You'll need it again later. And then stand nearer the top of your mat. And we'll move through Surya Namaskar A. So if you're newer to me, it's way slower than most people want to do this. I encourage strongly to play with the spacing of the breath, encouraging a steadiness in the movement. Take your arms straight down. Firm your legs, flesh of your buttocks pulls a little down, front of your hips lift a little up. Your legs should be really powerful here. Exhale, empty. And then use your breath in, arms go forward and up. Lift your shoulders. Firm buttocks as you fold. So use your leg muscles to resist gravity slightly. Take halfway lift. You can step or float to Chaturanga. You can skip it if it doesn't work very well for you. Back bend of your choosing, could always be cobra. Tuck the chin, round the shoulders to lift up. Go back to down dog. And then push. Push for straighter arms, steadier grounding in the hands, stronger legs, and a steadier breath pace. And the top of your breath in. Look for the very emptiest part of your breath out. Now with your inhale, lift your heels high, look forward. Bend your knees deeply, step or lightly spring. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press your feet, rise to stand, arms sweep. Join your palms, exhale. Again, arms up. More on your own from here. In each breath, peaks each pose. Push strongly. Lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Lengthen front of the mat. Fold, exhaling. Press your feet, rise up. Join your palms, exhale. Now, optional 3 more of that. Arms up. You'll continue in your own breath. So think of this as time to train yourself to do these postures as gracefully as possible. So you're directing your own practice here. Stay in down dog, 3 or 5 breaths. I'm gonna do 2 more if you like. Rest anywhere else if you prefer. Maybe you don't need 5 rounds of sun cells this morning. Take your time. So we'll meet up at about 10 breaths. If you're still moving, take your last sun salutation, or if you're modifying, do what you're doing sensibly. Make sure you get through both sides if it's asymmetrical. Now, I'm gonna get you to step your feet to the middle of your mat, and then simple as possible, you can roll up or you can hinge up. I'm gonna suggest you turn to face the screen. I'm gonna turn to face you, and you're gonna stand with your feet narrow, together, hopefully big toes touching, heels slightly apart. You're gonna lift, I'm not gonna mirror this, you're gonna lift your right leg, grab your inner ankle, and put your heel right up in your left groin. And if you can, you're gonna keep hold of the ankle for a moment. Lots of you have done this with me before. Put your left hand to your left hip crease, firm your left hip back and in. So your left buttocks has work to do here. And then use your right arm as a proprioceptive tool to figure out how to move your right pelvis forward. So your left hip hugging in, your right hip moving into your forearm or your wrist. And then keeping the actions that you're doing the same, flip your right palm to face forward, place the inner hand against the inner thigh, and then kind of gently smear the skin of the inner knee wider without your right buttocks moving back. And then you might take left arm to the left, you might take it up, it's up to you. But firm left buttocks in, push right pelvis forward, and use the hand to encourage the inner knee to widen. Ears back, skull tall and balanced. Take another breath. And then you'll bring your knee forward, step your foot down, take a second. Same thing, second side. Lift the left, catch the inner ankle, put it as high up your right inner groin as you can. Firm your right buttocks in and back. Left pelvis moving into the left forearm. If you still got a hold of the ankle, play with that. And if you don't know what proprioceptive is, it's your ability to navigate your body moving through space. So it's just a helpful way to connect one body part to the other. And then you'll flip the left palm so that it faces forward, the back of your hand against your inner knee. Your left hand could stay on your hip, or right hand, sorry, or you can take it out to the side. Now smear the skin of the left knee wider, but push the left buttocks forward. So the knee will not be sideways if you've got your hips doing what they're supposed to be doing. Feel the flesh of the buttocks pulling downward, very much like what you did at the beginning of practice in frog when you're on your belly. Last breath. You're gonna bring your left knee out in front of you, you're gonna step your foot down, take a second. You can turn back toward the front of your mat. Feet hip width or together, as you'd prefer. You're gonna take a chair pose on your breath in. Bend your knees deeply, reach your arms forward and up, and then fold as you exhale. Lengthen, breathe in. Step or hop or skip the vinyasa, which I'm gonna do this time. Take a deep breath. Make your way to down dog if you're flowing. You're gonna bring your right knee towards your chest. You're gonna put a little bend in your left knee and then figure 4. Right ankle to left thigh, then stick your butt back and up in the air. Flex your right foot really, really, really strongly and lift your right seat up a little bit higher. Take another breath like this, really push into your hands. And then you're gonna slide forward, right knee to the belly, step between your hands, and then turn your back heel down and come up into warrior 2. So you'll have a heel to arch if you step right in between your hands. If you want it wider, I actually really like it wider. Bend your right knee deeply. You can flip your palms to face up and reach your arms out. Bend your front knee generously. The back hip of warrior 2 can turn forward a little. Doesn't have to be sideways. Spread your arms longer, bend your right knee a lot. Even here, this is tree. Inner knee, a front leg, toward outer knee. Right outer buttocks hugging down and in. Back leg firm, left buttocks is pulling down as well. Again, it's all very applicable to that thing you did earlier. Last breath like this. Straighten your back leg even more if you can. Now really slow. Take your arms up, straighten your front leg. You're gonna place the back of your left hand to your back thigh, so you're hardly touching it at all. And then start to side bend over your back leg and let the right pelvic half lift up higher. Left hand is hardly touching your left thigh. Take another breath. Back leg really firm. Now bring yourself back upright, super, super slow. You're gonna cut your right hip in, tilt your left pelvis higher than your right, then bend your knee. Elbow to inner knee, hand to the ankle if you're willing. Pull your right butt cheek underneath of you, and then stretch your left arm up and over your ear. Left foot grippy, but left hip a little forward. So you prep this on your belly at the beginning. Left arm stretches longer. Pinky and armpit down. So armpit toward the face. Take another breath. Now you're gonna push down into the ankle and just slide your right leg right to triangle pose if possible. Take your left hand around your back, pull your right buttocks in. Same things you've been talking about. Lift the kneecap of your right leg and then stretch your left arm back over your ear if you can. But push down with your right hand. It's not wrong to hover, it's just very different. Take another breath like this, left arm longer. You're gonna bend your knee, lower your hands, step back into 3-legged dog. Right leg lifts up, bend the knee, open the hip, straighten the leg, shake the leg, circle it, whatever. And then only if it's interesting to you, step your right foot halfway up your mat, ground your hands firm, straighten your elbows, shoulders over the wrists, and then you'll take little hops. They might be almost nothing at all. You might get a little bit of air time. If it's not something you're super familiar with, don't bother, don't worry about it. Eventually step back. Down dog, if you want a vinyasa, go for it. I'm gonna tap the knees, inhale, cow. Child's pose, exhale. Rolling up to sit. This is a very modified vinyasa. And then catch the knees and exhale. Hands forward, plank pose. And then downward facing dog. You're gonna bring yourself closer to plank pose. Left knee comes in, little bend in the right knee, figure 4. Left ankle, right thigh. Really push into the ground with your hands. Send your pelvis up and back. And if you can, flex your left foot a lot. Push strongly, take another breath. You're gonna draw yourself forward and step right in between your thumbs. Turn your back heel down, come up to warrior 2. Arms reach long. Bend your left knee generously. Palms can flip up if you like.
And then feel the inner front knee reaching forward, outer front knee hugging back. Grip with your back foot, make the legs straighter. Now super slow, arms up, breathe in. Slide the back of your right hand down your back thigh, you're hardly touching. Front hip is lifting, left arm reaches up and back. Try to keep the left knee sharp. You're gonna come back upright. Tilt your left pelvis back, right pelvis lifts, you'll bend the knee, elbow to inner knee, hand holding the ankle, you can take another variation if you like. And then use your elbow, inner left knee toward outer left knee. Right arm lifts up longer. Outer armpit is wrapping toward the face. And make your back foot grippy. And turn your ribs gently from here. Now with your next breath out, push into the ankle, keep the hand there if you can, straighten the front leg right to triangle pose, slip your right hand around your back, pull your left buttock flesh back further, down more with the back of your buttocks, and then right arm goes up, reaches overhead if you can, push down into the ankle, create more lift. Turn the ribs to the right, and really lift your right arm long. Last breath. You're gonna look down, bend the knee, ground the palms, send the left leg up in the air. Bend the knee, open the hip, you can shake or circle or whatever feels good. And then you'll step the left foot halfway up. This is optional. Push into your hands, do little handstand hops maybe. You might try descending chaturanga. Breathe in to back bend, and then lift strongly, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, full exhale. Send your right leg up, breathe in. Knee to your chest as you exhale. Figure four, right ankle, left thigh. Your exhale, your buttocks goes way back. Now you're gonna shift a little forward, turn your back heel down, step your right foot to the left on the floor out beside your mat. Left arm goes straight up. Grip with your back foot, press into the outer right foot, press into the right palm, and then left arm over the ear if you can. Even think of your right hip crease moving more up toward the ceiling if you can. One more breath. You're gonna look down, ground your left hand, take your right leg up, three-legged dog. I'm gonna come to the fingertips of the right side, just to give a little relief. And then square the hip, straighten the leg, bring the knee to the chest, step in between your thumbs, back heel down. Warrior two. Settle deeply as you exhale. Front leg straight, super slow. Exhale, left hand down the back thigh. Come back up vertical. Tilt your pelvis, ribs forward, bend the knee, side angle. Catch the ankle if you did last time. Take a breath in here. And then push into the ankle, straighten the front leg, triangle pose. Take an in breath. Right buttocks hugging in. And you're gonna look down, bend your front knee. Set your fingertips to the corner of the mat. Lift your back leg, but keep your right knee really bent. Like more than you'd think. Inner right knee widens. Outer right buttocks pulls in. Stretch your lifted leg longer. Left arm maybe up. And then maybe you hover the whole body up a little bit higher. Play with it, see where you feel. Right hip hugging back. Left leg really long above you. Take one more breath. And step back slowly, hands frame the front foot, straighten both legs, pyramid pose. Take a breath here. Turn to straddle, fingers under shoulders, take an inhale. Empty vigorously. On empty, fingers crawl forward. Stay empty for a moment. Breathe when you need to. And then you'll take your left hand, hold your right ankle, or could go on the floor out in front. Take a deep breath, spin, look underneath your right arm, and then bend your left knee. You might crawl your right fingers back, you don't have to, but spin your body open to the right and be really strong in your right fingertips. Take one more breath. And then crawl your hands toward the front of your mat. You can half step and hop, you can skip that. Inhale as you hop. Left leg lifts. Knee to the chest. Figure 4, inhale. Exhale, stick your butt way back. And draw a little forward. Turn your back heel down. Step your left foot onto the floor beside you. Right arm goes up. Reach it overhead if possible. Press both feet firm and swing the left hip more to face the ceiling if you can. Right arm and leg sharper. You're gonna look down, ground your right hand, left leg up. Knee to chest, step in between your thumbs. Warrior 2. Deepen the bend of the knee. Front leg straight. Right hand down the back thigh. Straight up through center. Tilt your pelvis, ribs forward, bend your knee, side angle pose. Right arm over the ear. Take a deep breath here. Straighten the left leg, triangle pose as you exhale. Take one breath. Rotate the ribs to the right. You're gonna look down, bend your knee. Fingertips to the corner. Keep the left knee more bent than you'd think. Stretch your right leg up. Widen your inner left knee toward your outer left knee. Left outer buttocks in. And then maybe right arm up, and then maybe left arm up. Do what you did last time. Last breath. You're gonna step back, hips more square, both legs straight, pyramid pose. Turn the toes to the right, straddle. Take a deep breath in. Empty vigorously. Stay empty as your fingers crawl forward. Breathe when you need to. And then right hand, left ankle, turn the ribs, bend the right knee. Crawl left fingers a little to the right if it feels good. And keep spinning your ribs open. Now, crawl your hands forward. Left leg up. Step it halfway back if you like. Swing. Vinyasa or skip it. From the belly down dog. Tap your knees, inhale. Cap. Child's pose, exhale. Keep moving. We'll right up to sit. Fingertips behind you. Lift your hips and chest if you like. Sigh or whatever. Now sit back down. Catch your knees, round your back. Slide your hands forward, right to plank pose. Right knee to the belly. Figure 4, inhale. Exhale, send your pelvis back. You're gonna draw forward, back heel down, right foot to the side, left arm up. Reach overhead. Take a breath in. Land your palm, right leg up. Take your inhale here. Step between your thumbs. Back heel down, warrior 2. Settle deeply, exhale. Front leg straight. Slide down the back thigh. Back up. Tilt the pelvis, bend the knee, side angle, hand to ankle. Take a deep breath in. You'll straighten the leg, triangle as you exhale. Stay for one breath. Look down, bend the knee, float to any half moon. Just here for a moment. Take a deep breath. And then step back, hands frame front foot, straighten both knees, pyramid pose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to fold. Bend your knee. Ground your palms. Inhale. Plank pose. Left knee pulls in. Figure 4. Exhale, buttocks back. Draw a little forward. Back heel down. Left foot steps right. Take an inhale. Reach overhead. Another breath in. Lower the palm. Follow the back foot. Inhale, left leg up. Step between your hands. Back heel down. Warrior 2. Settle deeply. Front leg straight. Exalt triangle. Back up. Bend the knee, side angle pose. One breath in. Triangle pose. One breath. Bend the knee. Fingers where you like, half moon pose. You're just here for a moment. Take a breath. And then step back. Frame the foot, take an inhale. Straighten both legs. Lengthen. And round. Bend your knee. You can handstand hop or not. Round your palms, step back, really push into the ground. Send your hip sockets up and back. Take a steady breath in. Now tap your knees down. Arch your back, cow spine. Go back to child's pose. Now, roll to sit and find your blanket. This is optional. Like you did earlier, you're going to put the rolled blanket in the creases of your hips and take child's pose with the blanket. Arms back by the feet. Breathe around the blanket, as challenging as that is to do. Now, begin to roll up to sit. The blanket to the side, sit tall. If you need a block or something, use that. And then you'll take a couple breaths, let your belly move, so after compression. And if possible, you'll make fists, and you'll make a fist bump behind your ribs, or you'll do Pashi Namaskarasana, which is reverse prayer, whichever feels accessible to you. But slide your elbows forward, pull your shoulder blades back, pull your ribs in, and then sit taller. Breathe as steadily as you can. Fists strongly pressing. Ribs hugged in, spine really long. Hold the top of your next in-breath. Stay full for a moment. And release your arms, release your exhalation. So, a couple of options. If you don't care to go upside down, start to make your way onto your back and do a back bending practice of some variety. You could stay here, I guess, and do camel pose if you want to do camel pose for today. But I'll show you a couple of things at the wall. So, put your feet up against a baseboard. And make sure you have your sticky mat under your hands. You don't really want to do this on the wood floor probably. And then you'll come to a short downward dog. So your heels are against the wall and your hands are pushing the ground away. One foot behind you, see how that feels. Both feet if possible. And then try to send your hips more out over top of your hands. And that is one way to come at it. If you took your hands a little bit further away from the wall, make it more like a down dog on the wall. So it's more of a diagonal. Still, let the shoulders lift. Push. If you want to turn around and play with hopping, again, more likely you want a mat under your hands, but push into the ground, swing the top leg, spring off the bottom leg. Inhale to swing. Get one foot to the wall and take one leg away and see if you can be less reliant on the wall. Push into the floor, shoulders are lifted. If you're looking between your hands, a lot easier to get air time. And then play with that, any of those options, or come onto your back. I'm gonna go back to handstand and just see if I can give it a moment there. And once you're finished, release. You can do upside down hands, you can do backwards hands, do both. And then roll the wrists or something, gentle movement of the wrist. I'll cue you through wheel pose. If you still have that in you, your wrist might be not feeling that right now. So take or leave it. You can do a simple bridge pose. I'm gonna assume you know how to get to bridge pose. So I will cue you through wheel pose. Lie down. Feet equidistant from your hips. Take your arms straight up. Palms to the ceiling, like you want to do a plank on the ceiling. And then bend your elbows and set your palms on either side of your head, so fingers point down towards your feet. And then if you can, widen the hands and turn the fingers out slightly away from the sides of your skull. Elbows hug into the sides of your skull or closer to. Lift your hips. Come to the crown of your head to start. Don't turn your head and don't, put too much pressure here. And then if you can, lift yourself up. And you might start to straighten your legs more. You might not. See how it goes. But make sure you're breathing. Gentle movement of the wrists after that. Let rest in neutral if you can. After a lot of deep back bending, I don't suggest that you pull your knees right to your belly. Make fists if you can. Turn the knuckles toward each other and hold tight fists and try to make your arms straighter. And release, flick or something. And I'm going to take a supported bridge. You could do another wheel pose or an active bridging pose. But lie down and set a block or two or maybe a pillow or something under the back of your pelvis. Take your legs forward and just as much as you can let your weight drop. If both legs is too intense, do one at a time. Let the breath be deep but less intense, like less ujjayi driven, a whispery kind of sound, and just focus on a steadier pace. Bring your feet back in if you're ready. Take the block out from underneath of you. Set your pelvis down and just widen your feet. Go back to constructive rest. Take a couple breaths here. And then draw your knees in over your hip creases. Catch your kneecaps with your fingers, like you're doing seated cat pose, but on your back. You might tuck your chin, lift yourself up and round. And then if you can, keep pressing your knees into your fingers and let it feel like you're trying to pull your arm bones toward the front of the space. I've got my toes on the floor. You can play with them hovering or touching or whatever. And then you'll come back. And I'm going to suggest that you get the towel, blanket, whatever, and place it under the back of your pelvis. It'll just give you a bit more space as you draw your knees in. Cross above the knees if possible for Gomukhasana, and then hold ankles, or if you can, get your heels. You can rock or stay still, you can flex your feet or not flex your feet. Take slower breaths. You could stay longer if you feel like you need. If you're ready, just switch. release, send your legs up, give them a little floppiness. And then set your feet down and take the blanket from underneath of you and draw your knees towards your belly. You do that same thing again. Knees press forward into your fingers, lift your head and shoulders, and then try to press your knees into your fingers so much that it brings you right up to sit. And then turn to face me, probably for this, and straddle your legs wide. You're gonna pull your right foot toward your groin like a tree pose kind of situation. And then start by just placing your hand on your inner foot, your left hand, inner left shin or calf or whatever. Right arm goes out and then across. So side bending. So this is an option where you can return if the next thing doesn't work for you. Right now your right thigh is an external rotation, so you're gonna flip to internal. So the foot is outside the buttocks and your inner calf muscle is up against more like your outer thigh muscle. And then you can do the same thing, hand inside ankle, opposite arm overhead, or you might, this is a bit weird, lift your butt. Your left hand will go underneath of you. You'll sit on top of your left wrist, and then turn your ribs open to the right. Stretch your right arm up and over. Some of you will just hold your arm up, some of you will hold your foot. And then if you do get a catch of the foot, you've got to bind hand to foot, 2 different binds, and use both of them to help you spin your rib cage. So it kind of has similar sensations to a version of Skandasana that we were in earlier. This is Parigasana or gate pose if you're not familiar. If you feel ready, start to unwind. Set your right leg forward, give both legs a little shake, floppiness, and then bring your left heel in. So this is Janu Shirshasana, hand to inner ankle, opposite arm up and over. Stay with that, or flip the left leg into internal rotation, so it's like a Virasana leg. So your bum and your inner arch of your foot kind of nestle nicely together. And then you can set your hand inside your ankle and stretch your left arm over, or lift your butt. Right arm reaches underneath. Left arm will reach across. So we alluded to this with like side angle pose and that kind of, again, weird Skandasana variation, but press into both of your feet, hold strongly with all your fingers, and then let that help you to spin your rib cage open. If you're ready, start to get yourself up out of there, slide your legs forward, give them a little thwack, and put your hands behind you and lift your chest. Just pull your shoulder blades towards your back. And then you'll sit, cross your legs, take the blanket or use a block and fold it or roll it, doesn't really matter. But give yourself a little elevation under your seat. Simple Sukhasana, which is crossed shins. Siddhasana has your ankles one in front of the other, hopefully knees closer to the floor for this. And then sit tall and rest your palms on your thighs if that's okay. Close your eyes if that's okay. And take your attention to your pelvic floor. You may feel your perineum against the block or the blanket. Try to feel as you breathe in. Belly diaphragm naturally expands, but see if you can expand your pelvic floor as you breathe in. And then with your exhalation, there's a lift that naturally happens, but I want you to exaggerate it. So pull upwards, like you would probably call a Kegel exercise. And then as you breathe in, let that go. So everything descends on the breath in. And then exhale, gently pull upwards and create an ascension of the pelvic floor. But release it when you inhale. And only lift as you exhale. Now, we'll play a little deeper with Uddiyana Bandha, if possible. So take a really deep breath in. All of the breath out the mouth. On empty, pause, tuck your chin, stay empty and press into your thighs. Stay empty and widen your rib cage like you faked an inhalation. When you need to breathe, sit tall. Simple exhale. You do this again, breathe in. Wait for it. On empty, tuck the chin, press into the hands, lift the pelvic floor, and take your mock inhalation, like again, a fake breath in. When you need to actually breathe in, sit up. Simple breath out. Once more. Empty a little longer this time. Take a couple of even breaths. Recognize what it's like to sit in the void at the end of the exhale. And start to think about where you want to rest. You could stay seated, you could do legs up the wall, you could put your legs up on a couch, you could take blankets and pillows and, prop it up really nicely. My suggestion for you is to get your phone or something, or talk to OK Google or whatever, and set a timer for 5, maybe 7, maybe 10 minutes, and see if you can be really patient with that and rest until your timer goes off, or maybe longer. But for the sake of this medium, I'm going to leave you to take Shavasana, and if you will, time yourself and give yourself a lot of space. And if you don't have the time for that, step for a few breaths and just give yourself some time to come down a little further. Thank you very much for sharing practice with me, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.